I have over 20,000 subscribers, but I'm getting less than 1,000 views on average. I thought I just needed to work harder, be more consistent, upload more frequently, but that didn't fix anything. Then I caught up with a friend. He's been a subscriber for years, but he looked at me and asked me why I stopped doing YouTube. Well, I haven't. I've uploaded videos every week for a month, but my videos aren't even appearing in his home feed anymore. It turns out I might have fallen into a trap I didn't even know existed. There's a theory that YouTube shows your video to your subscribers first, and if they don't click, the algorithm basically buries it. Therefore, if my own subscribers are ignoring me, I'm effectively invisible to everyone else. Is this theory true? Is my own subscriber count actually destroying my reach? I wanted to believe the theory was the only reason I was failing, but I had to be honest with myself about the momentum I stopped. I took long breaks, weeks, sometimes months, thinking I could just pick up where I left off. When I stopped, my viewers didn't wait for me. Their interests shifted. So when I finally came back, I was stuck in a time capsule. I was producing topics that were relevant 6 months ago, but outdated today. Once I realized my channel was decaying in that time capsule, I did what any software engineer would do. I tried to optimize my way out of the hole. I saw the AI hype and I thought, perfect, I'll use my background to build something that actually helps. I wasn't interested in the fake AI stuff or AI slop. I wanted to build real, high-level automation for creators. I thought I found a gap. My intention was to give you the ultimate gift. Time. I wanted to make you more efficient so you could focus on the craft. But this is where I hit a wall I never saw coming. I spent hours building these AI automation systems, making sure they were robust, testing it, using it myself to make sure they are actually useful. I put AI in the title because I was proud of the technology, but I didn't realize that for many of you, that word was a red flag. Therefore, before I even said a single word, I had already lost the room. I thought I was giving you a superpower, but a lot of you saw AI in the title and immediately assumed I was taking the easy way out, that I was using AI to replace my creativity rather than enhancing it. Even though the videos were 100% me, the AI label acted like a poison. I saw these tools I built as a way to give you more of me more often. In my mind, automation was the bridge to higher quality. But for you, the viewer, that bridge looked like a wall. You didn't see the hours I spent coding the logic. You just saw a buzzword that felt like I was outsourcing our connection. I was so focused on the throughput of the channel that I completely ignored the experience of the viewer. And the result, I used to average 100 comments, real conversations per video, but in my AI videos, it dropped to 20. I was trying to be the most helpful I'd ever been, but because I led with the machine and not the human, it backfired. I was giving you the most value I had to offer, but it didn't matter because I'd failed the most important test on YouTube. Trust. I realized I was trying so hard to be innovative and efficient with these new AI topics that I completely walked away from the very thing my 20,000 subscribers actually wanted to see me do. I was so afraid of repeating myself that I became unrecognizable. But the AI experiment wasn't the only way I was self-sabotaging. There was a second mistake, and this one is much harder to admit because it hits my ego. Basically, I was terrified of being repetitive. I thought that to keep 20,000 people interested, I had to constantly invent something new, pivot to new topics, and show you how knowledgeable I am. But subscribers want you to be the same, but different. I tested 20 ideas that pushed the boundaries of my niche, things like side hustles, mindsets, and confidence. I was proud of them, but they didn't resonate. However, out of those 20 videos, the only 2 that actually moved the needle were the ones where I went back to basics, the style that got me to 20,000 subscribers in the first place. Turns out, by trying to be fresh, I became unrecognizable. It's like going to your favorite burger joints because they make the best cheeseburgers in town. But when you show up, the chef insists on serving you sushi because he didn't want to be repetitive. The sushi might be great, but it's not why you're there. So I realized that being repetitive isn't a lack of creativity, it's a commitment to the craft. I was so busy trying to prove I wasn't a one-trick pony that I forgot to give you the very thing you came for. Now, I'm not saying never experiment, but I learned that you have to tread carefully. If you push the boundary too far, you break the trust. Like the burger joint story I just shared. Instead of trying to serve sushi, the burger joint should stick to cheeseburger but keep it fresh with new menus like double cheeseburger or triple cheeseburger. Either the experiment fails and I learn what not to do, or it succeeds and I find a new path. Either way, the data wins. So after the long breaks, the AI backfire, and the realization that I tried serving sushi at a burger joint, I had to find out for myself if the theory was true. Is the algorithm actually ghosting me because my 20,000 subscribers aren't clicking? I pulled the data from my biggest flops from the last few months. I looked at the first 24 hours of impressions YouTube gave me every time I launched a new video. And the data was a reality check. YouTube didn't hide my videos. In fact, in almost every case, I still got 5,000 to 10,000 impressions on the first day for pretty much every new video launch. Think about what an impression really is. It's YouTube putting my face right in front of you and saying, hey, do you want to see this? YouTube did that 10,000 times on the day I launched my video. The algorithm did its part of the bargain. It brought the horse to the water. But my packaging was so bad that I was essentially giving you every reason to look away. The ghost metric wasn't the algorithm ignoring me. It was the algorithm watching 10,000 people decide that I wasn't worth their time anymore. That's because my video titles were too technical, or the topics were straying too far away, or my thumbnail just sucks. Nobody wants to click it, which triggers a massive red light to the YouTube algorithm. The ghost metric I ignored wasn't a setting in the dashboard. It was just viewer expectation. I spent so much time blaming the system for damaging my channel and not being fair, but the truth is, I was the one who stopped being the creator you subscribed to. I treated you like a metric to be optimized instead of a person to be engaged. The damage is unfortunately real. It is like losing someone's trust. It is extremely hard to build back, so I'm not 100% back to where I was yet. This channel is still in the recovery ward, but at least I finally have a clear diagnosis. I'm going back to the basics. I'm going back to being the engineer who solves human problems and not the one who codes around them. And look, if you're sitting there looking at your own dashboard and you can't tell if you're serving sushi or burgers, I want to help you figure it out. I've started doing deep dive channel audits where I look at your data through this same lens to see where you might be self-sabotaging. If you want a second pair of eyes on your channel, check out the link in the description. I promise you, no fluff, just the data. And also, if you felt like your channel is a graveyard lately, stop looking for a hidden setting. Look at your Friday video that built your channel. Look at the channel you built. Maybe it's time to stop serving sushi and just make the best damn burger in town again. If you find this video useful, be sure to check out this video over here to learn more about what I found from losing subscribers for 90 days. I'm sure a lot of us have encountered this before, and this has been one of the most frustrating feelings on YouTube, so be sure to check it out. Alright, that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one.